Hello, science group number 1. Welcome back to science. I believe we're on week 8 of our science lessons. And you have a new science book, unit 2 on birds and fish. All right. We are moving on from mammals. Birds and fish are not mammals. Do you guys remember what make up the class of mammals? Mammals are animals that have fur or hair. They nurse their young. They give birth to live young. And you guys remember anything else? They're warm-blooded. Okay. Now, birds are warm-blooded and they do not nurse their young. They do not give birth to live young. To live babies. Okay, we're going to learn about birds. So open up your page to the very first page. Looks like this. It says lesson number 8. Okay, and the very first word on there is birds, and it's in dotted lines. I want you to trace it so you'll know how to spell birds. And you have an uppercase B because it's the beginning of a sentence. Normally it wouldn't be uppercase B. B and as in first, DS. And if you want to underline as in first, you can. Birds. Go ahead and trace that, and we're going to begin reading. And as we're reading, I'm going to have you circle or underline certain words that are going to be the answers to our questions on your page that looks like this. All right. So, oh, and make sure, I already wrote the date on your paper for you. Can you please write your name on there? I don't want to have to throw it away if I don't know who it belongs to. All right. Okay. So go ahead and put your finger on birds and follow me as I read along. And when I get to the answer for question number 1, which is how are birds different than other animals? How are birds different than other animals? I'm sorry. I've got a splinter on my leg. Okay, ready? Birds are easy to watch because they're right outside your window. You see them outside. And sometimes if you go to a big store, like for example, a big warehouse like Home Depot, Lowe's, or Costco, they have big, huge doors. Sometimes the birds will fly in and they're flying around inside the store. Okay, birds are easy to watch. They often fly into our backyards. Birds share 2 features. In other words, they have 2 things that all birds have. Every single bird has 2 that's the same in every bird. The first one is they have feathers. Go ahead and trace the word feathers. And if you want to underline the multi-letter phonograms in there, go ahead. Feathers has 3 multi-letter phonograms in there. 2 of those multi-letter phonograms one has 3 sounds and the other one has 2 sounds. You can write the number of which sound it is. That's just to help you review. Feathers, they have feathers and they lay eggs. So go ahead and trace the word eggs. And why do you suppose eggs has 2 G's? Eggs. It's not the F, S, or L that we often double. And I really don't know why, but I'll find out for you and I'll tell you in the next video. Okay. Egg. F, S, or L. All right, let's keep reading. Oh, I'm sorry. That is go ahead and those 2 things, those 2 words that you traced, feathers and eggs, that's the answer to number 1. So for number 1, you're going to answer it has 2 answers. The first one is they have feathers. And the second answer is underneath, it's they lay eggs. These are 2 things that all birds have in common because they also have things that they don't have in common. And I see that there's some glare there. This is an L. My marker is getting very light. All birds have feathers and lay eggs. Okay, if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that. I'm going to continue. These features make birds special. God designed most birds to be great flyers. God also gave birds beaks that are just right for the food that they eat. He gave them feet that are just right for where they live. So the beaks, if you look at your paper, there's several birds there. Remember, there's 9,000 different kinds of birds. So this is very few birds. But each bird has a different beak depending on what they eat. So the question number 2, it says God gave birds beaks that are just right for what? For what they eat. So number 2 is for what? Eat. And I'm going to change markers so it's a little bit darker. Okay, so God gave them beaks for what they eat, and He gave them feet. There's also a picture of different kinds of feet depending on where they live. Some birds live on the ground, some live in trees, some hide in bushes, some are in the water all the time. Okay, so depending on where they live, that's the kind of feet they have. Birds that perch in trees have special toes for holding on to the tree limbs. They have pointed beaks for eating seeds. Sparrows and bluebirds are perching birds. Other birds have sharp beaks and claws. For example, eagles use their sharp claws to catch mice and even rabbits. Birds can live in the water. Birds that live in the water have webbed feet that helps them to swim. They also have wide beaks. They use their beaks to catch their food in the water. So ducks usually catch their food in the water. So they have a wide beak. I don't see, let me see. I don't have a picture of one, but you guys have all seen how ducks have big beaks. Okay, so number 3, how are ducks' feet designed to help them swim in the water? How do, what, have you guys seen let me see, there's a picture. The second one, the second row over, 1, 2, the third one down. See how there's skin between each finger? There's some skin there. So it helps them push the water and it makes them better swimmers because they're in the water all the time. So this is number 3. Number 3, they have webbed feet to help them swim. Let me get this one out of the way. So this one will stick better. There we go. Okay. Which one that is? They have birds that live in the water have webbed feet to help them swim. This is number 3. All right. And let's turn the page. We're on this page now. It says some birds do not fly. Some, like the ostrich, have feet that help them run very fast. Others, like the penguin, are designed to move very fast in the water. Okay, so the last question, number 5, it says, give an example of a bird that doesn't fly. We just talked about 2 birds that don't fly. I'm sure there's more than that. There's one called the emu. It looks like an ostrich. And I can't think of another one right now. But the ostrich is one and the penguin is one. And if you go to your book, it says some birds do not fly. Some, like the ostrich, circle ostrich. And then it says have feet that help them run very fast. Others, like the penguin, circle penguin. Now you can write either one of those on your paper for number 5. You can write, give an example of a bird that does not fly. You can write ostrich or penguin. And if you want to write both, you can write both. Okay. Okay. So we're done with answering the questions, but we have a picture down here of some 4 different kinds of birds and 4 different kinds of feet. It says match each bird to its feet to see how God specially designed each bird for the place that it lives. Now, if you look at these birds, do you think that he would need webbed feet for water? No, I don't think so. These look very small. I think these are made to hold onto branches and trees. Ostriches live on the ground, so it wouldn't be an ostrich. Now these, look at those claws. They're made to grab onto maybe it's food, like a rabbit, a mouse. Okay, so then you look at these. These are on the ground and they're huge. Those are perfect for running fast and holding up all this weight. I'm sure this bird weighs more than a man does. Okay, so I'm not going to give you any more clues. Look at the bird and figure out what type of feet that bird would need. Okay, and when you turn your book in, I will go ahead and correct those. And that's the end of our lesson for today. All right, if you have any questions, call me or text me. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.